I'm here with Karter, a brilliant young business owner who's going to talk to you a little bit about the company she started from scratch. So Karter, tell us a little bit more about you.
Hi, yeah. So I own my own business. I resell and sell my own clothes on this app called Depop. And so basically I go and I thrift them and I find them and then I, wash them, fix them up, all that stuff. And then I shoot them, post them, and then people buy them online.
Is this the first business that you've ever started?
Yes, this is the first business that I've ever started or been a part of.
And where'd the idea come from?
So honestly, it started, I just wanted to sell my own clothes. It was about a year and a half ago and I just had extra stuff and I was like, oh, I see other people doing this, I should start selling my clothes. And I couldn't really part with any of my things for some reason.
I could sell my clothes, but I like my clothes.
And so it started with me thinking I should do that. But then I was like, wait, what if I go and I buy some clothes, bought them all nice, and then I posted them and no one bought them. They got no attention, no one saw them.
How did that feel? I mean, you spent a lot of, we were talking about this, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So how did it feel when no one bought the first time?
Honestly, it was kind of disappointing, but I'd also kind of prepared myself for that. I kind of understood that, there was a lot of people doing this and probably not a huge chance that my stuff would get seen. First thing I sold was this color blocked sweatshirt, right? And it was like this cool 90s sweatshirt and I sold it for $10 and I lost money on it because I charged $2 for the shipping.
Tell us what you mean when you say I lost money on it. What does that mean?
So I probably paid for the sweatshirt $2 or $3.
Okay.
And then I sold it for about $10, and then Depop takes a cut. It takes about 10% of your sale. So when I shipped it and paid the money for shipping and paid the Depop fees and paid what I'd paid originally to get it, I didn't make anything off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I just have to work things out, make my prices a little higher, understand what I need to do for shipping.
So you learned a lot from that one shirt, this very cool 90s shirt that you sold for $10. So that $10, what do you think are the key takeaways you got from that first shirt? You talked about it, but can you break them down for us?
Yeah, well, honestly, a lot of other people were not selling things for prices that low. It just didn't really make sense to sell things for next to what you got them for, especially if they were worth more than that and you knew people would pay a lot more than that. And so I basically took away understanding shipping, how much to charge for that, how much you need to factor in that. And I don't think I even knew about Depop fees when I posted that. I didn't know that they were gonna take a 10% cut. So I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll get most of this. And then
that's 10% their business
was
model,
gone.
Right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And so from that, I learned with my next, batch of stuff that I put out, I was like, oh, this didn't sell, maybe this stuff will. I upped my prices a little bit. I actually weighed my stuff and tried to check how much shipping would be. And so I factored that in. And then I feel like my next couple of sales, honestly, also, I probably just barely broke even on. And so I was like...
And can you tell us what break even means for people who don't know?
So I just made exactly basically what I got back. If I had sold it for 15, I probably made 15 back. So I wasn't losing any money, but I was, losing my time and all that stuff.
And your time is expensive, right? Because you told us that you're really busy. So is that part of what you're striving for, is to make some money to pay for your time as well? Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I'm putting a lot into it and it is worth it now because I am making enough to do that. But back then it was definitely it was honestly fun. It is honestly fun stuff to be doing. And so I was okay with that. I was like, it's okay if I'm, just breaking even because it's fun and I'm experiencing things and I'm learning about how to sell stuff,
So what do you think makes you the right person to build this specific business?
I love clothes. I love fashion.
I can tell.
I just love
And you're very good at it.
Thank you. I just love the idea that you can just, put anything on your body and it just, it's you. You can show yourself through what you're wearing. I think I'm the perfect person to sell clothes to people because I know what I want to wear and I also know what other people want to wear.
And how do you find more customers? How do you get the word out about what you're building?
So I have an Instagram page for my shop where I kind of promote it. Also post my hauls on TikTok, the stuff that I've bought from that day, and I'm like, oh, look what I'm listing soon. Most of the promotion that I get comes from Depop. It works like Instagram where it shows it to all of your followers and all of the people that are just browsing the app, you know, you can use hashtags and more people will see it, stuff like that. So the app itself really helps you a lot to get your stuff out there and be seen.
I love that. And what I love is your intimate knowledge of the platform and how you're able to leverage that to get more customers. What do you think are the biggest challenges you've overcome in your business?
Yeah, well, definitely the trial and error of like what to sell, you know, what was selling. Even though I was like looking at what other people were selling and what was selling for them, that some of that didn't really work for me, because obviously if other people are selling it, they can just go to them instead of me. So you had to kind of figure out what it is that you're gonna make your niche and like what people will come to you for. And then obviously I kind of just had to learn some of the like math behind it, the costs of what things needed to cost to charge for them. And then also a lot of the learning and what was hard for me was like just figuring out like what things were worth, you know? Like at the time I started, I honestly didn't have that much like knowledge of brands and things. And so it was hard for me to know like, is this shirt worth $20? Is it not? And then I'd learn by, you know, if someone bought it, then cool, that is, you know, what I should be charging for. And if it just sat or if it, you know, sold too fast, and I was like, whoa, maybe I should have upped that up a little. So yeah, it was just a lot of like learning like through what I was selling and my actual experiences.
I mean, I love that you have done so much research into the platform and into your customers. Is there any other kind of research you have to do on a regular basis to really keep ahead of your competition?
Definitely researching brands a lot and researching trends, and you know, seeing what people are going to be wearing this summer and the summer after that and all of that stuff.
Do you know how many states you shipped to at this point?
I've probably shipped to all of them.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? That's so incredible. So you sold a lot of clothes. Do you feel like having this business has inspired what you want to do for work after high school? So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I feel like I've always known that I wanted to do fashion and that's what I want to go into, but I haven't really always known exactly what that entails or like, you know, what part of that I want. And I feel like doing this has helped me see a lot that my favorite part of the job is definitely like styling things and like making things look nice and seeing what goes with what looks good together. And so I feel like when I do go into fashion, I want to try and find a way to incorporate that into what I do every day.
Well, thank you so much, Karter, for being here. So let's wrap it up together. I would love for you to think a little bit about some advice that you could share with young entrepreneurs who are starting their very own business.
Yeah, definitely. I think my best advice and the stuff that's helped me the most is definitely just don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to like start over and make changes where changes need to be made, because no one really succeeds the first time if we're being honest. Go for it, for sure. You know, if you have that idea and you're not sure whether you should pursue it, you should. Trust me, it'll pay off in the end, and it's okay to, you know, not know exactly what you're doing. That's completely fine. You'll figure it out.
Karter, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We had a blast learning from you, and thank you so much for hanging out with us too. I hope that you learned so much from Karter because she had a lot to share. And as she said, listen, you're gonna make mistakes on this journey, but it's always an opportunity to learn and to fail forward. Thank you, Karter.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yay.